I remember going to a church and the preacher was preaching. I was so convicted. I knew that I needed God so bad. I remember telling God, because I figured God was talking to me, and I said, if this guy in front of me, I figured he was a church member, if he goes to the altar to pray, I'll go. And thinking you can outwit God, he got up and went. So I was left there. And I went to the altar. And not really understanding what was going on before anybody could come pray with you, I just gave everything I had. I just surrendered everything. When I stopped praying, when I got up, I was not the same person. I felt like I lost 100 pounds. I mean, I was free, I was clean, I felt brand new. I mean, I just totally just redone. And it was just an awesome feeling. I just couldn't wait to I had to go tell everybody. After I've been a Christian for some time, I started noticing I started struggling in my life with forgiveness. I started noticing that I was getting angrier and could not explain where the anger was coming from. And so I just took it out on God. And I said it was his fault that I'm angry. I'm a Christian, I shouldn't be angry, but I blame God. And that's what caused me to run. I grabbed all my books that I had, every Christian book, Bible, notebook that I had. I rented a storage locker and put everything in it and locked it and left the key somewhere in the parking lot because I knew I wasn't coming back. And after that, I just started living a life that I wanted to live. And I lived it as hard as I could. And so it wasn't long after that, I moved from Texas, I moved to Chicago, and the house that I was stayed at, they had a lot of books of witchcraft and the occult, and told me I was welcome to their library, so I can grab books, so I started. It wasn't but a period of time where my curiosity got so intrigued with it that I started to engulf myself into this. And then the desire came to actually make this thing a reality. You know, it's can I cast spells? Can I make a voodoo doll work? And it was really dark. It was a dark time. And it was at the same time, there's something on the inside that's crying. Just saying, this ain't right. But I kept suppressing that part of me. I just would not let that part of me, I would not hear what that person had to say inside me. I wanted to do what I was doing. I lived about 20 years of being hopeless. It was dark. It was many times I would remember telling myself it would be better off if you just end your life right now and get it over with, because that's better than what you got. And I kept telling myself, no, I'm not gonna do that. So, but I had that struggle was there for quite a while because I was unhappy with life. I was unhappy with myself. I wasn't happy around people. I had no goals. I had no purpose. I had no reason to live. It was years later, many years later, that I moved to Washington and got married here and met my wife. And so we were on our way together, you know, and we had one of our child got sick. She got a really bad disease. And not knowing how to handle everything that was going on, my wife sought out a Christian counselor. And so she asked me, would you go with me? And I'm like, okay. So as soon as I got off of work, we went to go see this Christian counselor. And it was at that time when he started telling me things that only I knew and God knew. And he came and he would tell me things, and I was like, how do you know this, you know? And my curiosity in God just started to like start up. I felt like, wow, God does care about me. He just has to work with me, you know, work through me, and he's trying. I just got to allow him to do this. And we started engaging in different classes, and it was in one of those classes that I was in where we were talking about forgiveness. And it was at that time where I was able to ask God for forgiveness and really experience forgiveness, where I could just let it go. And and right after that, I just felt the need to begin to forgive all the people I've had angered for. I mean, I kept a list of people that I was angry with and why I was angry with them. And I began to forgive them, to let it go, just to replace that out of my life. And I have experienced a change at that point. There was so much peace that came with that. There was, all of a sudden I had a purpose. I was a dad. I had to be a dad. I had to be a leader of my home. I wanted to be here for a change. I really just wanted to be here. And I wanted to be an example for my kids. And through the struggle of my daughter going through this, God just kept showing up time and time again. He just never let go. And to this day, I can look back. And I, if there's one thing I can say about God is, He loved me no matter what. And when I was unforgivable, I was just at my worst. I was so unforgivable because of my attitude, my actions, my rebellion toward God was so bad. God loved me anyway. And it didn't change His perspective for me. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm so thankful that He did that for me. I look back now and I can see such great love. I can see so much compassion. I can see so much mercy that He gives us that we take for granted on a day-to-day basis because we don't experience it or we don't take the time to see it. And now, today, I take the time. I take the time to see Him. I take the time to thank Him. I'm so grateful. I have a lot of compassion toward people now that I didn't have before. It doesn't matter what you've done. Doesn't matter how bad you may have been and how hard your heart is. God can change all of that. And here's the beauty of it, is God will use all your past, all your hurt, all your pain to help somebody else. Because there's always somebody out there that's hurting. And they need to hear from somebody that's been there and says, I was there, I've walked in your shoes, I know how you feel. But there is something better, and there is hope. And so, giving God your heart and surrendering to Him has been the greatest thing I've ever done. And I just hope that if you're in a struggle in your life, hope you consider doing the same. My name is Manuel Aguirre, and I've seen God's fingerprints in my life.